You're watching Explore Tulsa.
A lady called me in Arkansas and she said she had a machine she wanted to donate. So when I got there, I've seen these cabinets before closed up and a few of them opened, but this one was a little different because it had this small machine on it. Now normally, if you could afford this cabinet, which this was like buying an average home, this is the machine you bought with it. This was Singer's finest machine of the day. And there would be no reason for you not to have that machine in this cabinet. The problem with this is considered like a pinto of a sewing machine. There was many machines between this one and the one I picked up quality-wise. It being in this case, it just didn't make any sense. I asked her, I said, well, it's extremely rare that the wool pad is all still there because the moths, 144 years ago, we had very little protection. And all throughout the continental United States, everything wool had to be protected. That's why we had cedar chest. Now, a question, I said, well, it's really odd that that would survive all those years. And she said, well, that has to do with why it has a small machine. Her great-great-grandma was a petite woman, and she weighed 88 pounds. That machine I held up is a beast. It's heavy, heavy, and she didn't want that big of a machine. And then you would think, well, it's in a cabinet. What difference does it make? Well, this lady lived in the only place in the continental United States that didn't have the moths, and that was Flagstaff, Arizona, for the elevation and the desert west of it. And just for that one environment, there was no moths, and that's why this survived. I'm sure the manufacturers, I know they did, they said, why in the world are we sending out a pinto in our mansion? It's gonna make us look bad, is what it's gonna do. So what Singer did is they said, well, let's do some modification on this and let's give her some luxury and let's put a hand crank on it. So they put a hand crank on it. Why is that a luxury item? And I'll tell you why. Ladies back then, they always kept their fingers clean, fingernails, and they always kept them trimmed so they wouldn't snag their fabrics because it was so expensive. On a regular treadle, you're always having to grab the wheel. Even when they're brand new, that metal is coming off on your hands and it stains the clothes you're working on. So they always had to clean their hands and keep washed up. By having a hand crank and changing the design on the pitman, she didn't have to do that. She, instead of reaching up and grabbing the wheel and maybe doing all that, she could reach over in pure luxury and do this. So Singer says, okay, we gave you, now our machine is better. But there was something else that she wanted. And what she wanted was the ability that, you know, she lived in the desert and it's hot. So this machine is a convertible unit, and she could take it outside and sew in the shade. In the desert, you want to get out of your house and go. So this was to where she could take it outside. And there's a case for it. And there's also, the nice thing about this machine is that it has all the original parts because it was a one family. But this machine actually come with the original scissors from way back then. This is, it's 144 years old. I'm thinking the year is, because you can get the date. This is 1874, January 7th. So you can get the actual day that they were made. It's as close to a one-off as you can get because of the circumstances there. There's a few of them that do have the wool pads, but they won't have the small machine. And they won't have the hand crank or the really cool pitman arm set up. So it's kind of a really, really rare machine.